Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch. It's me, Mitch himself. Good to see you all. Everybody jumping in here, and let's start it off. Drink it, my friends, if you got it. And as usual, I got it. Enjoy your little blues while people file through the door and fill up the audience. Ah, yes. Happy Tuesday. I hope you all had a nice Easter weekend. As I've said before, for me, one day blends into the next. At least I didn't forget this morning was Tuesday. And here I am, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Good to see you all. Good to see everybody. 64 of you here so far. And the chat's rolling. Everybody wanted to be the first one at the bell. And we'll see how well you did in a minute or two. Got a little drought going on here in Florida, although the weather is gorgeous. Instead of hurricanes, now we have to worry about the world burning down around us. It's always something. As Rosanna Dana, for those of you old enough to remember Gilda Radner, used to say on Saturday Night Live, it's always something, she would say. And that's truer words were never spoken. It's always something. At any rate, here I am, and here you are. And it's great to see everybody. I did finally make a few show notes today. Try to get back to normal. So I'm going to start off today with a shameless plug and buy me a coffee. Every little bit helps, guys, and my son is texting me. Why? Never fails. Right at 9:30 on the button, I got to answer this text. This is what happens. I texted both my kids this morning, and I said, I'm okay. Just checking in. Got to start a live stream at 9:30. At 9:31, my son texted me back, asking me a question. I love them all. I love them all, and they're very concerned about me. And I have to answer those things, so excuse me if I need to make sure my kids aren't worried about what's happening with me. At any rate, I put up my Buy Me a Coffee link. Very much appreciated. Every little bit helps. Enough said about that. Show notes. Back to my show notes, which I was doing before I was interrupted timely. Hang on. Here we go. So I'm watching the news this morning. I'm watching the news, and it appears they never stop. It appears weight loss drugs entering new era with breakthrough daily pill from Eli Lilly. Eli Lilly stock went up 10 points, 10% yesterday. Eli Lilly and Company Chairman and CEO David Ricks on their breakthrough in weight loss drug research, a U.S. manufacturing focus, and lowering prescription prices, even among tariffs. Calls for a day of celebration among all Americans. Says here a new daily weight loss pill could be just as effective as the popular injectables that help patients lower their blood sugar and lose unwanted weight. I think we're really at the beginning of a new era preventing chronic disease. What's wrong with that statement? To me, and in my opinion, and in the opinion of so many knowledgeable researchers who claim that obesity doesn't cause chronic disease. Obesity is a symptom of metabolic syndrome and insulin resistance. And that's very important because that just shows the underlying errors, I think, in their whole understanding of why we have this problem. It's not about weight loss. It's not about excess fat. It's about what causes that excess fat, and that is the overconsumption of sugar and oxidatives, seed oils, and addiction. But they're claiming that by making people skinnier, we're going to fix all of that. Hallelujah. Buy Dunkin' Donuts, 7-Eleven, and any other big food company stock, because people are going to start eating more and more of this crap and getting sicker and sicker as they get prettier and thinner. If the side effects from these drugs, which are completely unknown right now, don't get them first. This is the first of 7 studies that we're doing to study this medicine, he explained. The oral GLP-1 inhibitor that we've been developing for more than 8 years, and the results are exciting. They also go on to talk about, and the first benefit that they say that you get from the weight loss is you look better, which is really what it's all about for most people. It's not about health. It's about how do I look. Y'all remember Fernando, who said, it's better to look good than to feel good. Little news flash for you this morning. That's the first thing that hit me in the morning news. And that little talk on the news was followed immediately by commercial after commercial for this drug, that drug, the other drug, and this cancer hospital, and that emergency room, and everything else. Ask your doctor. I can't, how many times I heard, check with your doctor before you do this. Ask your doctor. That's it. I have to build a spare bedroom for my doctor. At any rate, we're overwhelmed with this stuff. We're not supposed to be preoccupied with our health 24/7. Health is just something that should be so that we can get on and live our lives and be preoccupied with other things other than monitoring, drugs, doctor's visits, labs, and everything else. Just my opinion. I don't know if you share it with me or not, but that's my opinion. Okay, we got that. I'm gonna, if I remember to do it, I got a link from one of my viewers who found an actual interview with Ancel Keys later in his life. It's amazing. I'm going to put the link in the show notes. I'll do it after I finish. And if you don't find it in there, it means I haven't gotten to it yet. Come back and look for it. Come back and look for it. I've also added a playlist to my channel. All the videos, and there are 14 of them so far, related to my stroke and my recovery. You'll find that on the homepage of my channel. And for those of you that haven't seen them, you can binge on them, or you can find the one you want to rewatch if you're that interested. Starts with the first one that said, "Well, I've had a stroke." That one's got over 120,000 views and 33 or 3,400 comments. And the good news is I have read them all and am caught up with all the old comments on all my old videos that I couldn't get to while I was recovering in the hospital. So for those of you that left a comment, if it was a nasty comment, I took care of that. But the majority of them were very, very heartwarming. And I enjoyed reading them all. So I have read them. If for some reason YouTube did away with some of them because there were links in them, I'm sorry, I probably didn't read those. But did the best I could and got to most of them. So on that note, I'll drink a little more of my coffee this morning. And that's it. That's all I wanted to say before I took up the whole hour. But I do want to try to talk about some of the latest things that I see and observations on these live streams, so it isn't just saying good morning to people, which I agree could get a little boring sometimes, although I'm sure all of you like to hear your names, as I like to hear my name acknowledged on somebody else's live stream. So this morning, I put this up last night about 9 o'clock. First one in was Lori. Hiya, Lori, how you doing? Followed by Gary at No Slow, Jerry Bell, Smoothie 420, and at 10 o'clock, B81 Mac, 11 o'clock, Rick, Charger Mopar, Quack at you tomorrow, maintaining the duck theme. Lady June said good morning at around midnight. Mandy Meadows, 1 o'clock in the morning. Here come the Insomniacs. Sandy Blythe at 2 o'clock in the morning. Mike Seeley Jr. at 4 o'clock in the morning. My God. And then Teresa again at 4:30. Oh my God. I love it. I love it. And then Wayne Herman, the first reasonable one, at 6:30 this morning. Good morning, Wayne, from Lake Gaston. How are you? Robert Morris is here. Patty Molden was here this morning. I did it again. Hit the wrong button. Where was I? Where was I? Sorry. So many chats already. Oh, wow. All right, here we go. Patty Molden came in. How you doing, Patty? Good to see you. And at 8:55, Harry Dion, Francine Bourgeois, right around 9, followed by Jeff Johnson, the name you know. Still have this type A influenza thing. I didn't realize that was the thing. CB Carmack chimed in. Good morning, CB. How you doing from Alabama? Sheriff CB, good to see you. Followed by the Carnivore Police. Now that's early in Yorba Linda, California. That was 6 o'clock out there. Well, great, you're up. Jeff Graham says, good morning. Less junk, more health. Sneaking up on 9:30. And Juan Manuel, hi Juan, I haven't seen you in a while. From south of the border down in South America. How you doing, Juan? Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Hope you're doing fine down there. Retired Rick is with us. Kathy, Florida's here. And, of course, Tanya, Kitchen Witch is with us. Mama Bear is with us. Movie again. Rick chimed in again at 9:23. Sneaking up on it. Michael Pregler's here. Hiya, Michael. Good to see you. Richard Williams from Copper Hill, Tennessee. I remember that. How are you, my friend? Good to see you this morning. And 9:28, Lori. And then Jiffy, how are you? Let's see. Who's new? Scott Elliott sneaking up on it. Margie Graves, Aaron, Booby Goats, Danny in Boston is here. 9:29, Laurie, Rick, Terry, Sue. Everybody's hitting that button madly. Rick again. Terry Sue again. Gary at No Slow. And the winner this morning, Tuka. How you doing, Tuka, my friend? You are the winner this morning at 9:30, followed by Rick. Tuka again to make sure he got it. Smoothie, Harry Dion, Marla, Kelly, Lori, Michael Pregler, B. Matt. Hiya, Matt. Julie Martinson, good to see you. And Tanya chimed in at 9:30. Touramir wanted to know how to become wise like me. Thank you, Tuka. Jeff Johnson, 9:30, and Target Prime Rib Thomas was here. Good to see you. Sandy Blythe chimed in. And the last of the 9:30s. David Parker started out 9:31. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Aunt B's with us. Let me see who's new here. Loretta, Nadow, Donald McPherson. Hello, Donald. Marla. Is that Maria? Maria Glad. How are you? That's a happy name. Oh, yes. And Kate Wolfhill, how are you? Melody, 9:30. And Spanky is with us. Golf Addict, hi. Doing Spanky. Who haven't I got here? And then we'll get down to hunting for some questions and something to talk about. Here, I put my coffee link in. I'll do it again. I have no shame. No shame at all. Brian Dish, how you doing, Brian? Good to see you. Everybody saying hi to everybody. And Louis Latino from New York. How you doing, Louis? Good to see you. I think we have a long belated guest appearance from you. I kind of got interrupted by my little medical adventure, but I think we need to start thinking about doing that in a week or two. So I'll get in touch with you. Wow, Maria Glad, SEK 100, SEK. I should know these things. I should know these things. What is an SEK? SEK, a Swedish krona. Swedish krona. 100 of them is about $11. Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Maria. Very, very nice of you. I really do appreciate that. And thank you, Google, for having the answers. And who else is new? I like this. Hi, Mitch. I'm Houston, Texas. Are you in the Philippines? No, I'm in Melbourne, Florida. And you're in Hollywood. Wow, what a cool name. Hollywood. I bet you many other people have the same name as you on YouTube. But that's cool. I like that. I like that. Yeah, Lois, you're right. You'd think my kids they do subscribe, but they're both busy, and 9:30 in the morning is right in the middle of their workday, and they can't always watch me. And I think between you and me, as far as my YouTube video, it's just like been there, done that. My daughter watches much faithfully, much more than my son, who is very, very busy at 9:30 in the morning. And I do have to answer. I should answer them. Of course, they're my children. I know everybody cares about me, but very few care as much. And I wouldn't expect them to as my own kids. Some kids hate their parents. I'm very fortunate. Don Chagas here. How you doing, Don? And let's see how I'm up to 9:36. Any people I haven't said hi to yet. I'm sure there will be many late arrivals, but we'll leave it at that and start. If there are any questions, I haven't seen any yet. If you have a question for me or something you want to discuss, or just something you think you'd like to bring to my attention, which is important, and for me to maybe talk about or share, put a QQQ, capital Q's, in front of your comment. Wow. Ellen is here. Wow. I just saw you fly by in the chat. I'll get to what you said in a minute, but good to see you. And Ellen, please give me a call today. I've been meaning to call you, but I haven't. Mea culpa. But please, call me. I haven't talked to you it's been months now. It's been almost 2 months since I was incapacitated. Wow. Time really flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? At any rate, QQQ in the chat if you've got a question for me or something that you'd like to talk about. So I'm going to scan and look for questions. And I'll say hi to new people that I haven't said hi to yet along the way. And I'll try to read the chats or scan them as I go by. I haven't said hi to you this morning. Jemmett, how are you? Good to see you. I think I got Aaron, but if not, good morning, Aaron. How you doing? How are the 10 children? Can't imagine. 10 kids. What do you do in your spare time, Aaron? Oh, my God. That's incredible. Randy Weigel, how you doing? Good to see you. Here we go. What a great carnivore name this is. Where's the beef? Anybody remember the name of the little old lady that used to be in the Wendy's commercial? Anybody remember her name? Her last name was Peller, Peller. I think, was it Sarah Peller? I can still picture her and hear her voice in my mind. Where's the beef? That was one of TV's all-time great commercial. I walk down memory lane. Simpson John's my favorite British name, right out of a James Bond novel. Good morning to you. You incredibly healing man, he says to me. I was impressed with the video of you walking with the assist of a walker. Yeah. You mean the one where I walked carrying the walker off the ground? I've been doing a little bit more and more of that each day, but I'm still not ready to walk unassisted. But I'm doing better with that little heavy walker, which is going to do wonders for my mobility as I heal. It could take months and months before my balance completely comes back to the point where I can head out into the world unassisted without a high risk of falling. I've got to take it easy. I've got to be smart about it. Very careful. I don't want to risk an injury of falling. You never know what you fall into. You might break something, bruise yourself up, find yourself in a position where you can't get back up. It's not worth the risk. But on the other hand, without risking a little, you never move forward. So it's a balancing act. It's a balancing act. And everybody tells me to be careful, and I'm mindful of that. I'm very mindful of that. Mike Seeley Sr. is here with us. Hi, Mike. Good morning to you here in Melbourne. Not a lot of questions. And there is that Swedish kroner from Maria. Hi, Maria. Very glad. Thank you so much, sweetie. I really appreciate that. Bermuda Guy is here. Hi, Bermuda Guy. Good to see you. And I'm glad to see Juana's still with us. I miss you, buddy. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a live stream this Thursday night because I have to get a crown, dental crown, and I probably won't get back till sometime after 6. I may not be in a position to talk if I'm numbed up still. So I'm probably going to skip the live stream this Thursday, but we'll be back next Thursday. As I say, good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Lad is here. Hiya, Lad. How you doing? And M. Bolt, a new one. Manitoba. How you doing, M? Good to see you. Welcome. It's another one I don't recognize. Blue, the Huskita from United Kingdom. It's John. Hi, John. And here it is. Ellen, Scooby the dog. Good morning. Good to see you, Ellen. I see a Kurt. I'm heading out for a week, so I can't say hi to everyone right now. I may be back just though I'm saying hello to all of you. So, hit and run. Ellen got so busy. Wow, so busy. Lizzie's here. Hiya, Lizzie. How you doing? Graceful Lily is here. I guess I'll keep saying hi to people until I find a question. I think the challenge is remember who I've said hi to previously. Exercise my short-term memory. Oh, no, Ellen. It's okay, Mitch. I lost my phone. I've been without one for 3 weeks. Ellen, I don't know whether to feel sorry for you or envy you that these phones have come to monopolize our lives. Maybe losing your phone is a vacation from all that. Ricky Jones said hello. Hi, Ricky Jones. Question. Wow, somewhere. Let's see. Glenn Ish, haven't seen you in a while. Exactly. Been a while, Mitch. Sorry to hear what you've been through. So glad you're doing well. I'm glad to see you back in action on Morning Coffee. Yeah, 3 times a week now. 3 times a week. I heard my phone go off. Somebody bought me a coffee. Maybe more than one person. Let me go ahead and check it out. Who was it? Target Prime Rib, Thomas. Thomas bought me a coffee. Thank you very much, Thomas. Appreciate that. Like to acknowledge generous people. For somebody new that I haven't said hi to. Oh, you're heading out for a walk. I thought I saw a week. That's what I get for trying to read. I'm heading out for a walk. Okay, good. You're not going to be gone for a week. But get a phone, will you? Oh, my God. Here we go. Kathy, Florida. Q. And 1 Q for good measure. It seems like balance and walking has a lot to do with the ankles and toes. Are you doing exercises for those muscles? I'm doing some exercises, but mostly walking would be the best exercise for walking, because that's when you really work out exactly the muscles that are trying to balance you. But there are still some connections that have to be rewired in my brain. They call that neuroplasticity. The brain comes up with alternate pathways to nerves and the same muscles. And it has to make the connections little by little. I don't know. The only way you can probably rush that is to have a healthy brain. And the way you have a healthy brain is to nourish it. The way you nourish it is by eating an appropriate amount of high-quality protein and fat. And that's what I'm trying to do. I want to talk a little bit about my sugar addiction. Maybe now would be a good time to do that. Okay. I told you that I added some carbohydrate to my diet. I wanted to put on a few pounds. The best I could do, I started to make this ice cream very low carb, basically just cream, milk. No, I didn't even put eggs in it because it was just too much of a hassle. And I put a little bit of vanilla bean paste in there, which had a few grams of carbs, but not enough to take me out of being, let's say, a keto, maybe 5-10 grams of carbs, ketovore. But the brunt of my diet for the past couple of weeks has still been meat, except for the fact that even after 2.5 years of eating not a drop of sugar, not a single blueberry, nothing, not a vegetable. When I say strict carnivore for 2.5 years, I mean strict carnivore, nothing but animal products. This hospital stay re-addicted me to sugar. No matter what I ate in there, no matter how they cooked it, they managed, even the bacon and eggs, they managed to load it with sugar or seed oils. I'm convinced that the scrambled eggs were cooked in seed oils. I'm convinced that the bacon they served was crap, was probably turkey bacon loaded with sugar. I got sausages there, I'm sure. There was no end to the crap in that garbage sausage, but I had to eat. I couldn't fast for or didn't want to fast for 3 weeks. And during that period of time, I started having cravings. I certainly was not feeling the urge to fight them. I needed a little bit of something that my body took as pleasure. They had these little 4-ounce cups of vanilla or chocolate ice cream virtually everywhere. Refrigerators in every hallway, full of high sugar snacks. Fruit cup, fruit cocktail, fruit juice, ice cream, sorbet, lemon sherbet, lemon ice, everything high in sugar. At first I started, I'd say, bring me one. Well, I was 4 ounces, didn't work. Then I said bring me a couple of them. And I know better, but I cannot deal with my addiction once it takes hold. And I got re-addicted to sugar in a few short weeks. And when I left the hospital and came home, I came home a sugar addict again. I want to be transparent with you and tell you exactly what I'm going through, because it proves again to me, and hopefully will be meaningful to you after you followed me for years, knowing I could live without sugar, how helpless I became. So I came home with a sugar addiction. Nelson came over, Dr. Nelson Vasquez came over to the house bearing gifts from Kilsey, from Robert Kiltz, of a Ninja creamy ice cream maker. And I said, wow, that was very nice, thank you. And I took off, was going to make ice cream since I had become used to eating ice cream every day in the rehab facility. I'm telling you this story so that whenever you hear me talk about the power of addiction, you'll know that I mean what I say, because it had that power over me, and it did exactly what I knew it would. It would put lame excuses in my head to make it okay. It would rationalize the bad behavior to get what it wanted. And it had been awakened and reintroduced to the pleasure from eating sugar. That's a natural and normal physiological response, genetically programmed in us, that made us survive through periods of famine, failed hunts, and other things. And I've talked about that. Well, it's real. I made every excuse in the world, and the main one was, I'm just going to do this today. I can always start again tomorrow. It got to the point in there, in a few short weeks in rehab, I was probably eating 4 to 6 of those 4-ounce cups of ice cream every day. That is more than a pint of ice cream. More than a pint. And you know it was not good ice cream. It was crap ice cream loaded with sugar, which is why it addicted me so hard. So when I came up from the hospital, I'm a sugar addict now, and got the ice cream machine, made some of the so-called low-carb ice cream, but it never came out right. You see, in order to have ice cream come out, you need a lot of ingredients in it to make it creamy. And you also have to learn this machine. Well, I learned this machine, and I learned that I said, well, I got to get an artificial sweetener. So I put allulose in there, not a cup of it like the recipes call for, but just a few tablespoons of it. Made it a little sweeter, but I don't know if I want to be eating that. Then I decided, and this was where the mistake was, I'll get some blueberries. And that was always my downfall, because blueberries were my go-to carb. They satisfied my cravings, but instigated me to binge. So I got the blueberries, and I swore, I can control this. Mitch, you didn't eat sugar for 2.5 years. Surely you can limit the blueberries. Well, long story short, if it's not too late for that, within 1 week, I ended up eating a pound or two of blueberries a day. I was ashamed of myself, but I couldn't stop. I was helpless. I found all kinds of excuses. Well, Mitch, God, you deserve a little pleasure. You've been working so hard. You're recovering so well. I just kept doing it. I would take the blueberries. I used the Ninja ice cream maker, and I take the blueberries and I put them, I fill up the thing with blueberries, and then I take heavy cream, pour it on top. The frozen blueberries were cold enough to turn that into ice cream in the Ninja Creamy. And it was good. Oh, is it good? But an incredible amount of sugar. And the fact that I didn't have to freeze them in the freezer overnight meant I could make it anytime I wanted. I started going through blueberries like they were gone out of style. I woke up yesterday morning and I said, I need to put a stop to this now. I had another bag of blueberries in the freezer. Before the cravings hit me that day, yesterday, I took that bag of blueberries, I cut them open, I dumped them into the trash can. So I couldn't, because I knew if I had thrown it in the trash can, I'd go back and get it. That's how addiction works. So when I talk about addiction, I'm talking about my firsthand experience with addiction. Now, maybe not everybody is as addicted as I am, but it is a real thing. I threw those blueberries away. Yesterday, I made no-carb ice cream. It won't be very sweet, but it's still going to be cold and creamy. And I'm going to see if I can't just be happy with some of that each day without getting an enormous amount of sugar. And now, unfortunately, I've got a few days of sugar withdrawal to suffer through. Not quite as bad as the keto flu, but I can tell that I'm on that sugar roller coaster that happens when you just eat too much sugar. I haven't been doing it long enough, I think, to physiologically hurt me. But I have proven again to myself that we are, at least some of us, are indeed helpless to outsmart our subconscious. I can only imagine that at some point in my ancestral past, there were periods of prolonged famine and relying on the sugars in the survival foods to stay alive. And I can imagine that that's why there are so many differences in the way humans behave. Some people aren't addicted to sugar at all. Some people, like me, can't stop. And I believe it comes from the fact that each of us comes through history by a different path. Some maybe never experienced famines. Those people in their genetics wouldn't have an addictive tendency. But with all of the homogenation of the human race, of all the intermarriages, people from this culture marrying people in that culture, I think the genetic pool has been stirred up enough where everybody has equal odds of being a carb addict, and it's obvious that they are. But not to worry, those new weight loss pills, according to them, will fix it all. Keep eating the sugar, my friends. All right, that was a detour. Ellen corrected me here. It said walk. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought it said week. Thought it said week. But if I seem a little off, it's because I'm having these swings between high energy and low energy as my blood sugar finally in my body, my fat burning pathways get going again. And I just have to try to be a good boy. And if that ice cream that I eat continues to trigger the cravings, I have to cut that out too. And follow my own advice, and that is, whenever you get a craving, eat thousands of calories of meat if you have to, and I'll have to do that. I'll have to do that. So I'm really living this adventure. Kitchen Witch. Tanya says, popsicle cause sunburn. Did my homework. That's true. That's true. I mean, by the logic that all of these studies and tests used to try to pin heart disease on cholesterol, you could say that popsicles cause sunburn. Now, Tanya gets it. Many of you get it. I've heard that example before. But to a casual observer, you're more likely to get sunburn if you're eating popsicles on the beach. If you didn't have the popsicle and weren't on the beach, you wouldn't have gotten sunburn. So obviously, popsicles cause sunburns. That's a weak correlation at best. But we have a habit of taking a weak correlation and turning it into causation, which is something you can't do. You can't do. Not everybody. And generally, one example of a case where that doesn't apply negates all the other theory. So if somebody was dressed in a long sleeve shirt and a big floppy hat and had sunscreen all over and went on the beach and bought a popsicle and did not get sunburn, that would rule out that theory that popsicles cause sunburn. It can't. If it's causative, it's causative. But that's too logical for most people. Northwood Strange, how are you? Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. From Orlando, neighbor. Looking for questions. Wow. That little rabbit hole I went down about carb addiction. Used up a bunch of time. 162 people. Good morning, all of you. I don't see a lot of questions, but I see a lot of conversation going on. Barry, thanks, Barry. You were absolutely right. Blueberry blues. I ate so many blueberries in the past week. I actually had yesterday. I actually had enough of them, and that enabled me to throw them away. And the problem now is everything's so convenient. Sam's Club delivers to my house. I can say, hey, Sam's Club, bring me 10 pounds of frozen blueberries, and they'll show up on my door within hours. Not good. Not good. On top of my 1014 in the chat. Wow, I'm almost caught up. And I don't see any more questions. Here we go. Thomas, Target Prime Rib. Oh, wow. Once again, my Chrome browser took a crap. All right, let's get it back here. Thomas says, question, Mitch, I fell off the carnivore train at Easter, and even though I am back on track, I am still suffering the backlash from it. Thomas, I feel you, man. I understand, because I'm going to suffer for 3 or 4 days, more than likely, the backlash from doing nothing more than overloading on friggin' blueberries. I'm ashamed of myself, but that's part of the normal reaction. The shame comes after your subconscious says, okay, that's enough sugar for now. Here's control of your conscious and rational thought back. And the first thing, after you've binged on something that you hadn't wanted to do, the first thing that most normal people feel, what was I thinking? How did that happen? I know better. I didn't want to do that, but I did it anyway. That, my friends, is addiction. And the only way you'll ever overcome that and be able to control it is to acknowledge its power over you. And then you can start doing the things you have to do to get rid of it. But if you are so arrogant as to think you can control it, then shame on you. It's like I deserved it. So I'll be back on track before too long. They have to load up on more protein, especially fat, and I'm still hoping that I can use that ice cream as a crutch if it's mostly fat and almost no sugar. So I'll let you know. It's an adventure. No slow, have you thought about adding coffee to your ice cream instead of sweetening it? You know, that's a great idea. No, I hadn't thought of that. But I wonder if I would have to use like instant coffee or just brew up a cup of coffee and pour some in there, some strong, like espresso liquid. Probably be the best way to do it. That's a good idea. There's also, people are making bacon ice cream, which is made with bacon. I haven't thought of a savory ice cream. We usually associate sweet with it, but it might be worth an experiment. At any rate, I'm doing all kinds of things with this ice cream maker. I learned I forget the blueberries. Stick with the ice creams that you have to make the day before and freeze. That way, you're limited to eat only what you prepared for the day before. And if you don't prepare too much, you can't overdo it, because you can only control how fast something freezes. Whereas when you use the frozen fruit with the cream, you don't need to pre-freeze it. The frozen fruit is the freezing agent, and the texture of it comes out like soft ice cream when it gets blended in with the cream. It's just too easy. The trick for me is going to be a blueberry-less house, and I have to do that. It was an experiment to see if I could control the addiction. And as it turned out, the addiction is still the winner. It shows me that you think you're smarter than Mother Nature. You're not. You're not. And if you admit to yourself that you're a slave to that, you're one step closer to fixing the problem. Or you could take these stupid weight loss drugs. Oh, I see. Let me switch scenes here. Well, I haven't been looking at that. The chat crapped out a while ago, so we'll get rid of it. Sorry, guys. I can see the real-time chat over here now. Okay. Well, I could pop it out again. Excuse me while I pop out my chat and bring my chat back over to here. I don't know why Chrome does that. Maybe my computer needs more memory. But what happens is the Chrome browser just says, snap, it says, something's wrong. All right, let me try this again. There it is. Okay, got it back. Now I have to size it so it doesn't cut everything off. There you go. All right, we're back. The wonders of technology, which I share with you. Kathy says, I've started rewarding myself with a cold diet drink from the cold drink case in the store. If I can check out of the supermarket without buying ice cream. Not ideal, but it works for me. Yeah, well, sometimes artificial sweeteners, even though they're not the greatest thing, and they can trigger the sugar cravings. They may temporarily get you out of danger so that when that craving hits you, which it does after a while, usually, once your body realizes that it thought that was going to be sugar and you cheated it, so now it really wants sugar, you won't be in the store anymore. Not a bad idea. Whatever it takes, kid. Little hacks. Let's see. Yeah, Sean Shively, hello, how you doing? Keto chocolate with butter and stevia. Yeah, I'll bet it is. Oh, wow. There are few triggers as devious as chocolate. It is addictive unto itself. Not to mention that without something sweet, it's horrible. It's bitter as hell. Have any of you ever had pure cacao beans? It's terrible, which is why chocolate needs cream, added fat, and a lot of something sweet before it becomes the milk chocolate that we all know and love. And very highly addictive. And to make matters worse, an oxalate-rich food. And that doesn't help either. Can't be, Mitch. Even if you find raw cream down the road to try, you may be addicted to that, even though, yeah, that's true. Cream can be addictive too. So can cheese. I don't know if I'm addicted to the cream as much as the strawberries. Because what would happen is I would eat the ice cream and figure you had enough fat. And then just go back and get a bowl of just frozen strawberries and sit there in front of the TV and pop them like popcorn until my fingers turn purple, my lips and teeth turn purple. And after an episode of eating that many frozen blueberries, it's time to go in the bathroom, get out the water pick. You'd be amazed where that blueberry can hide between your teeth. It's ugly. No, I lived without the blueberries for 2.5 years, and I'm going to reset that clock and start over again. You got to have some kind of conviction. Carnivorous is here. How you doing, Carnivorous? Good to see you. Excuse me 1 second. There we go. Kathy, did you gain any weight lately? You said you wanted to. I probably gained a pound or two. I haven't been getting on the scale. I'm sure I gained a little weight, but I certainly didn't gain it where I wanted to. And I'll leave it at that. But my health, I'm doing fine. But I've gotten myself on a sugar roller coaster. I can tell that I can tell when my blood sugar goes down. I'm sure I made plenty of insulin to counteract all that sugar I ate. I'm sure my blood sugar is going on roller coasters, and when it goes down, I feel it. I feel not hypoglycemic, but I feel the difference, and I don't like that. I've always been level and smooth as far as energy goes. Didn't come and go like it is now. It's better today than it was yesterday. And in, I would say, 3 or 4 days maximum, I'll probably be back on my fat-adapted, happy self. I'll let you know. But I've learned a lesson the hard way. But you have to experiment sometimes on yourself. And if you experiment on yourself, you really learn how you react. Like young Nick Norwitz does with all the crazy things he does. You have to recover from it, and you pay the price. That's what I'm doing right now. How else am I going to find out? We have a question from Ann Meinzer. Did you find a good fish oil supplement? I'm still on the fence about that. I got some fish oil. I'm trying to remember what fish oil. Hang on a second. I'm getting to my Amazon. I'll show you what I got. Maybe some of you know. Let me see here. Returns or orders. And where's the fish oil? Fish oil. Fish oil. I've been buying so much stuff from Amazon lately. There it is. It's this stuff here. Sports Research omega-3 fish oil, 1,250 milligrams per gel cap. I got a lot of good ratings, but you don't know if that means anything. They sell a ton of it, which means it's not going to be old stock that has sat around and gone rancid. As soon as I opened, I refrigerated it, and is it any good? I don't know. And then I don't take it every day anyway because I'm trying to eat more fish. So it may be that I'm just going to end up sticking with real fish instead of trying to get it in a capsule. But just for your information, that's the stuff that I bought. You can check it out for yourself. And please, if you find out anything negative about it or anything other than the rosy stuff that I read, please let me know. Email me or put it in a comment in the video. I'd appreciate it. Thanks for the question. 10:22. Well, we're not too far behind. Let's see if I got more questions before I wrap this up this morning. Andy Carnivore, do you have a link to the ice cream maker? I think I do. Hold on a second. Go to my website. At OldGuyCarnivore.com. I finally updated the channel members page. It hadn't been updated since February, so anybody who joined, find your name there. We'll go to links to stuff that I use every day, and we'll say kitchen appliances and tools. And let's see. This is on OldGuyCarnivore.com. Links to my Amazon stuff. If you want to, okay, good excuse for another plug. I really appreciate it if you want to use any of the things that I do. You buy them through these links. They pay me money. Not much money, but money. Yeah, there it is right here. Ninja NC301 creamy ice cream maker for mix-ins, milkshakes, sorbet, etc. And it's $199, and it works. And it's Amazon's choice. So how about that? Yes, it is. It's on my Amazon page. There you go. Let's see what we got. the ex, ex Aslexian? How do you pronounce that? Don't know you. Somebody new. Proud American is here. How you doing, Proud American, my friend? Good to see you. J.W. Crouch. Good morning. Good morning. And appreciate the compliment. God, I still have to consciously enunciate when I talk. It's very easy to fall into slurring some of the words. It doesn't, it's not like it used to be. Walking and talking takes conscious thought, where it used to just be automatic. I'm sure it'll get back to that as I keep talking. My speech therapist told me I don't need the speech therapy anymore because talking is the best speech therapy. I don't need to do the exercises. They probably wouldn't hurt. People think I'm crazy. The exercises go like, and other things with your tongue sticking out. But I'm not tripping over my tongue so much. And all of you tell me that my enunciation sounds better. I'll go with that. Eclectic. Is that supposed to be a derivation of the word eclectic? And an eclexian is somebody who is eclectic? Is that how you got that name? It's cool. Eclexian. I use liquid fish oil because the caps don't dissolve when I take them. I use Carlson's because it actually tastes good. Wow, I hadn't thought of that. Thank you for that. And Tanya, with her words of wisdom for the day, says, "Suck it up, Buttercup." Oh, okay. We'll do just that. We'll do just that. Okay. Let me see. Oh, Tanya says she wants that ground beef smasher. Yeah, that's cool. I did. I was going to video it, but I didn't. I did prep 10 pounds of ground beef a couple days ago for my cooking, and I separated it after it was done, like into 4 2.5 pound meatloaf looking things. I wrapped 3 of them in aluminum foil and froze them, and one of them I put in Tupperware. And you can just take the ground beef out of there, however much you need, throw it in a frying pan if you want to make it with eggs. Throw a hunk of it in the microwave if you want to have like a meatloaf, although it's no other ingredients other than ground beef. And it's very convenient. And convenience is important to me now. I don't want to use the word handicap. With my limited mobility to cook elaborate things, it's very, very important to keep things simple for me. Question: why doctors say saturated fat is worse than fat? Something about hydrogen. What you're thinking of is hydrogenated, and that's not saturated fat. Has nothing to do with saturated fat. When you think saturated fat, other than a few plant fats like avocado, coconut oil, think of animal fat. And hydrogen's got nothing to do with it. What happens is when they take a seed oil, in order to make it solid at room temperature, they go through a process where they hydrogenate it. And that's how Crisco is made. Turns out that hydrogenation process creates what are called trans fats, which have been proven to be very harmful and outlawed in most foods. But I think that's what you're thinking of. But saturated fats. A saturated fat is a fat where every carbon atom is not available for some other atom to hook to. It's saturated. There are no open, call them loading docks, for an oxygen atom to come along or something else. A monounsaturated fat is a chain of a fat that has one open place. Polyunsaturated means more than one. What happens when a saturated fat, when you look at this molecule, it's pretty straight. But when you have an unsaturated fat, where that free carbon atom is, you get a bend in it. And I don't know how important or how much the shape of the actual molecule has to do with the reaction and the way it works, but it seems that the saturated fats are much better for human beings without going down that rabbit hole too far. We're almost caught up, 10:39. Booby Demet, thanks for the great answer, he said. Amy says, you sound great. You could practice some diadochokinetic rate exercises. Papa, tata, kaka. I'm a speech therapist. Oh, cool. I'll say caca. Diadochokinetic. That in itself is practice. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, very, very kind of you. And I'm at the bottom of the chat. Simpson John says, good looking area. Okay, Graceful Lily talking to Booby Ghost, and we have made it. 163 people still here. My friends, we're going to call it a morning. Let's call it Tuesday morning. That's a good name. I have physical therapy coming at noon today. That leaves me a little time to maybe prepare some bacon or ground beef and eggs as my first meal and stay away from the blueberries. Today is trash day. The trash can is out by the street. There is little to no chance for Mitch's addiction to direct him out to that trash can to pick the individual blueberries out from among the garbage. Sometimes I think addiction is just that strong. I would ask you to prove me wrong, but I've proven myself wrong so many times. It was the realization that I was helpless that led me to try low-carb dieting way back 50-something years ago when Atkins wrote his book. So, Simpson John, thanks, Mitch. I really enjoy these, although I should be out there doing my morning walk. Well, you could listen to it like a podcast on your cell phone while you walk. I know a lot of people do that. I know Kiltz tells me that he listens to my morning show when he's driving. That's quite a compliment. Quite a compliment. And Tanya, talk about a compliment. Tuesday morning coffee with the greatest. Good day all. Tanya, thank you so much. Here's a little happy music for everybody. Take a minute, say goodbye to your friends. I will be back on Friday. More than likely, there'll be a video between now and then. I don't know what it'll be about, but something. Jemmet says goodbye, and Lori says goodbye, and Simpson says goodbye. Kitchen Witch, how are you? CB Carmack says, credit card addiction is pretty bad too. Oh, what about people who freeze their carbs in a block of ice? Yeah. I don't know about those people. I know the blueberries are pretty close to that, CB. And we have Smoothie says goodbye, Lori. Thank you, Lori. That's so sweet of you. Tuesdays and Fridays are now the best days of the week. As we go, and it probably won't take long, I'm really working towards getting this back to 7 days a week. I enjoy it. On the days I don't do it, believe it or not, I miss it. I miss it. So listen, everybody, as the music wraps up, Juan Manuel says goodbye. Juan, thanks for hanging in there throughout this whole thing. Ah, there you go. Those are coffee ice cream video. Great idea. I need to do that. I need to do that. And the music comes to a close, and so does my show for this morning. Thanks so much, everybody. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Appreciate all the help and the support and your attention. So, until Friday morning. Now, you all know what I'm going to say. There's no surprise anymore, but take the rest of the day off and eat meat.